On to Thursday Night Football preview. We've got Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys. It should be hopefully a good one, but it's Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football, so it's not going to be. Anyways, that's pretty clear. If there's two things certain in football, it's Christian McCaffrey touchdowns, and Thursday Night Football is going to suck. That's how that lays out there. Must starts, risky starts, don't starts. I'm going to start us out here with my must start. I'm going to say you got to start Brandin Cooks. Listen, 14 plus fantasy points in 4 of his last 6. And here's the thing. They win soundly when he is involved. Like they do not have to worry when he is touching the football, when he is involved in the offense. They just coast by on the offense. And I know McCarthy wants to do that on primetime. So Brandin Cooks is going to be involved in this game. Not to mention, I think CeeDee Lamb is going to see the shadow from star rookie corner Devin Witherspoon from the Seattle Seahawks. So might be a little bit more of a tougher coverage there on CeeDee Lamb. So I think Brandin Cooks is going to see a good amount of targets in this game. I think you got to roll out Brandin Cooks if you have him. I think he's a must start.
Same. I think you should start Brandin Cooks. Yeah, baby. Because it's this whole episode, I guess. Now, I have just a little bit of separate information, so I have actually something to contribute myself. But he's averaging 96 yards over the last 3 games. He's had 2 touchdowns his last 3 games, and he's averaging 17 yards per catch. It's pretty great what he's doing, and as we mentioned in our Fluke for Real segment, may not be a sustainable stat line when you see 5 catches for 70, 80, 100 yards, but that's what he does. That is his bread and butter on this Cowboys offense. So if you got him, just line him up in your flex and see what happens.
Roll him out. You don't have Stephon Diggs. Who else are you going to start, huh? Brandin Cooks. Must start there on Thursday at night. You got him. My risky start is Zach Charbonnet. Now, I don't think Kenneth Walker III is going to play this week. Even in a bad matchup last week against the 49ers, Zach Charbonnet still had about 10 fantasy points. I think just the volume he's going to get in this offense, continuing from last week, I think he's going to still be decent enough to be maybe a mid-tier RB2 this week, maybe 12, 15 fantasy points. Hopefully he finds the end zone. I think he's a risky start. It's just not a great matchup, so you can play him, but it's kind of a situation where I'm in a situation where I'm going to have to play Zach Charbonnet, and I'm not like thrilled about it, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. So Zach Charbonnet is a risky start. Don't love the matchup, so don't play if you don't have to, but don't be necessarily super worried if you have to. I think he can still have like a 10, 12, 15 point day. So.
Myers, you started Zach Charbonnet. What's going on? Yeah, 5 targets, averaging 5 targets over the last 3 games, and the last 2 games without KW3, 15 carries, 47 yards. Not impressive, but he's getting the volume, 88% snap count each of the last 2 games. Just as you said, Dallas Stevens is going to be tough. My only silver lining is, maybe the passing game that's been so poor, they got to pivot and they got to try someone else against this really great team. So, okay, 2 for 2.
Oh my gosh.
2
what
for
is
2.
Going on?
Don't start.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. All right. So my don't start on Thursday night. Say I'm phoning this one in, but don't start Geno Smith. I'm taking the L here, guys. I had him as a top 10 quarterback this year. They wrote me off. I didn't write back. Maybe you should have. Written back because and said help because next year is going to be terrible. It's been so bad for Geno this year, and he was a late round draft pick in fantasy drafts. A lot of people waited on quarterbacks because they wanted to take him. Hopefully, he got like a free agent off of waivers. So maybe a CJ Stroud, maybe a Josh Dobbs, maybe. But listen, don't start Geno Smith. I mean, it's. I know there's a handful of teams on bye, but I'm taking the L. It's been a bad year for Geno.
Can you see that I put Geno Smith as my don't start as well?
Stop it!
I don't know if you can read that or not.
Oh my God.
That's it for this episode.
Oh my gosh.
That's it for this episode.
What is going on? What is this is ridiculous.
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh.